episode 1, Clash of the Titans.
They love puns with the episode titles. Like, there's oftentimes multiple meanings and some sort of like tie-in to something from the episode.
Right.
They love puns for the titles.
So I was kind of hoping they wouldn't go right to Mercedes Red Bull with the first episode, but they did. They went right into it.
This was really Toto Christian is what this was really focusing on too.
Yes, we got to go through a jog in the English countryside with Horner. Were you expecting that?
Yeah, I mean, whenever they show Horner's life, it's so crazy. He's like the most English farmman of all time. Like he's out there shooting skeet and like riding horses, and he's crazy.
Dude's so loaded.
Yeah, it's so wild.
So loaded. I mean, he has a freaking estate, a straight up estate / farm.
Yeah. So, and I think a lot of people's new favorite thing also popped up in episode 1 and then came up later in these first five episodes. Toto Wolff ordering breakfast is, I think, a lot of people's new favorite pastime.
I actually had to check myself because it came up again in a later episode, and he ordered pumpernickel again.
He's obsessed with pumpernickel.
And I was like, wait, I thought I watched this episode.
Yeah, the second time he's like, and 2 pieces of brown bread, pumpernickel if you got it, And the first one, he's all about it has to be the perfect crunch, like a cookie when you snap the pumpernickel. Like he's obsessed with pumpernickel bread.
I would never want to be Toto's waiter at a restaurant. Just very elaborate ordering of food.
And it's funny because Susie Wolff almost seems like embarrassed from him making that order in the demand. She was just sort of like, just a couple eggs and cold milk with coffee, please. That's all. I'm not going to berate you about pumpernickel bread and the snap.
Yeah, it was cool getting to see the interviews with Susie.
Yeah, Susie also playing a big, big part in season 4.
Now, I do have a bone to pick early with the show. And this is not just this season, in general, okay? 4 seasons of the show. When are we maybe she appears later in the season because we've only seen 3 episode 5, but when are we going to get Angela Cullen on the fucking mic? Lewis's handler.
Right.
His trainer, his everything.
When are we going to hear her speak? I mean,
she's been working with him forever. Why does she not get on camera? Maybe she doesn't want to, but I remember last season the most we got was when she was driving in
Lewis
the car
late
and she was like, "You want to go skydiving?" Or Lewis is like, "Let's go skydiving," and that was it.
Yeah.
But I would love to hear from her. She is like integral to his whole process.
Yeah, I have a feeling we're going to get a lot more of Mercedes and Red Bull in the back half of the season.
We'll see. I hope Angela gets on the mic, though. That would be great.
I hope that we're obviously going to get Alpine in the second half because they haven't factored in yet, and we know they had some big results last year.
Yeah.
And Aston Martin has also been slept on thus far. Are we going to get no Larry Stroll this year?
Well, so far all we've got is his tall ass strutting into the paddock in that one shot.
Yeah. Are we going to get any surfing? Remember last season, we had so much footage of Romain Grosjean doing water sports, Lance Stroll surfing.
Yeah.
A lot of beach stuff.
It'll come.
Yeah.
It'll come. So, Moot, did you enjoy when everyone was arriving in Bahrain and they were all like, man, it's hot as fuck here. And then they cut to Zach Brown and he's already sweating his ass
off. Everyone was just saying, oh, my God. It's sweltering.
I enjoyed the yearbook photo they do at the beginning of the year where all the cars are on the grid and all the drivers are with the cars because I feel for that director of photography because that is a nightmare, herding that many cats, and plus he's on the megaphone and he's like, George Russell's dicking around. He's dicking around in the back.
We're all just waiting on George.
Hey, George.
If George will smile, can we get out of here?
I would love to know what George was actually doing to piss that guy off, but it's so funny.
Was that megaphone like the old school megaphone where it's only like the cone? It doesn't actually have anything.
No, it was an electronic one.
It did have the amplification.
Yeah, but that's a thankless job right there. Thankless.
Oh, I mean, like you said, you're herding 10 cars, 20 cats, and whomever else is trying to get the picture taken.
Yeah, and then so from that we went to all the photo shoots, like the studio photo shoots with everyone.
Right. And like a lot of team principals walking the catwalk. It was wild. Like Zoolander.
A lot of team principals.
Steel.
They were all being very self-deprecating. Toto was like, man, I look like shit after 10 years of F1 or whatever.
Right. A lot of blue steel, a lot of great smoldering looks from Toto.
I realized something that's the loosest you see them because the season hasn't started yet. Like they were all smoking and joking and having a good time, and then it all goes away.
Oh yeah, once testing starts, there's no more fun.
Exactly. It's amazing. It's got to be such a stressful gig.
I also noticed some things around the Italian characters. So Mattia Bonotto does nothing but speak Italian now in all the interviews.
We know he speaks English.
Yeah, you'll see later in one of the first 5 episodes where he's breaking down after the race and they're doing the debrief and he's speaking English because they're all speaking that at the table.
Right.
But in the interviews with the Drive to Survive people, he's just spouting off in Italian. They had a weird introduction of Stefano Domenicali because he had become the president of Formula One or whatever, right? So they did this weird villainous intro of him walking in his skinny suit and just talking about Formula One, I guess, and how he's bringing it into the new generation.
He basically just said that it's all about making the competition good, making it close.
Right. Yeah, I mean Toto really was the star. You had the breakfast order, which was just epic stuff.
Right.
You had that epic view. I don't know if that was in a hotel in Bahrain or because I thought that was
You're talking about in Monaco? I thought it was in Monaco.
I thought it was in Bahrain, just a dope hotel or something. But
I don't remember that.
Either way, crazy hotel view and epic breakfast ordering. He was saying crazy words like channelize that, talking about channeling something, channelize it. Guenther Steiner making jokes about how Toto's not getting any sleep and stuff like that. It looks like he's not sleeping.
I could write this for any episode of Drive to Survive, but it's particularly important now that we're all the way up to season 4. I still only understand a quarter of the things that Guenther Steiner says.
Mm-hmm. Even with subtitles, it's tough.
His accent is so fucking crazy, and his enunciation is so crazy. I can never, there's a lot I have to really listen to.
Yeah, the other funny foreshadowing in the first episode, Ryan, you also have Toto Wolff walking down the paddock or whatever and crossing paths with Michael Masi. We got our first Michael Masi sighting, and they kind of fist bump each other or something, and then Toto goes, behave. I think Toto said that to Masi when he walks by.
Oh man, everyone has Masi wrapped around their finger.
Yeah, and then you had the weird exchange where Christian Horner, before the race in Bahrain, goes up to some sheikh, and the sheikh is vaping, and then goes, kick their, what does he say? Kick their fucking ass.
Yeah, and it's the Bahraini president of motorsport.
Right? And he's kick Mercedes fucking ass is what he's telling Christian
someone
Horner.
Who should be completely unbiased, you know what I'm saying, in his position.
It's unbelievable. And he got it out twice. He was so bent on making sure that he got it out because Horner's just doing his pleasantries hey, how are you doing? You're looking good. This and that. The guy tried to crowbar it in.
And meanwhile, he's ripping a huge vape drag and saying, kick their ass.
Yeah, kick their fucking ass. Yeah, there really is so much cursing, I feel on this season.
You see it early in this season, that the entire paddock outside of Mercedes is rooting for someone to take Mercedes down.
Yeah.
You hear it from Haas, you hear it from McLaren, you hear it from Ferrari.
Yeah, and we talked about it because this was a big point that Christian would hammer all season, that this is the first time. That was really what they were doing with the first episode, setting the stage that for the first time, someone is actually putting more legitimate pressure on Mercedes.
Yeah.
But as we all know, Mercedes ended up stealing that first race as well when they looked to be on the back foot. And then you had already the needling where after the race, right? Toto
says, don't be so grumpy to Christian.
It's unbelievable. God, these guys love making it awkward because they're constantly having to interact, constantly doing interviews.
Mental battlefield all season long.
Yeah, it's crazy. Were there any other notes for episode 1?
Yeah, so I wanted to ask you if you enjoyed Christian Horner's dig at Bottas when they were riding the horses.
What was the joke again?
So Ginger Spice was saying whatever horse Christian was riding, I forget the name of the horse. She was like, yeah, she's more understated and calm. She's like a Bottas or something. And then Christian said, honey, I'm not riding Bottas.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of... Horner especially...
He said, darling, I'm not riding Bottas.
Yeah, Horner especially takes a lot of digs at a bunch of drivers.
Oh, yeah.
You get many
stirs the shit more than Christian Horner. Nobody.
Yeah, it's amazing stuff.
I also wrote, how can you not love Yuki? Remember when all the drivers were showing up to the paddock? Yuki walks in and all the other drivers are like, look at Yuki, man. He's awesome.
Yeah.
And then someone else is like, he's so small. No shit.
Yeah, I'm waiting for, I think, coming up.
I'm so
we've already
defensive
seen
of
the
my boy.
teaser of like the young drivers. So we're going to get a deep dive on Yuki. It looks like we might actually see his Italian boot camp that Helmut Marko sent him up
love
in.
That.
Yeah, there was like a shot of his apartment. I'm sure we're going to get some good foodie stuff. We all know he loves to eat.
Yeah.
So he's probably going to be making or ordering crazy meals.
Yeah, so my last note for this episode, Moot, was Guenther immediately creates a hostile environment. So knowing how bad of a team principal Guenther is, he's got 2 new young drivers, Nikita and Mick. And right away, we get audio of a meeting with them where Gunther's like, I don't want any fucking around, okay? He's like, you two stay away from each other. I don't want any crashes. Like, right away, he's making a hostile environment.
Hostile.
It
really is a hostile workplace.
He has such terrible instincts, in my opinion. Terrible.
Hostile workplace.